So this is a mindfulness of breathing exercise. We're just going to start by grounding ourselves in our body. So if you can, find a posture that's upright but relaxed. You want to have a comfortable chair or a comfortable seat on the floor. You can also do this practice while you're laying down on the floor or on a bed. So we have our legs uncrossed, our hands on our lap. Just relax into your body and notice the sensations of your feet on the floor, your body in the chair, your hands in your lap. And just check in with your physical sensations. You'll notice your hearing, sounds from the environment and sounds from your body. And we also have our sense of sight. Our gaze is important when we do mindfulness practice because your eyes are like a dimmer switch for the amount of energy that's coming in from the outside into your body. And so if you notice yourself falling asleep, you might want to raise your gaze up to the horizon. And if you lower your gaze, you can help yourself calm down a little bit. And if you're comfortable with it, you can also close your eyes. I'd recommend having your eyes slightly open, gazing at the floor in front of you. And you want to unfocus your gaze. So if you take your hands and put them up, you can see your hands, but you're not focused on your hands. So it's a similar thing with the floor in front of you. You might see particular things, and your eyes will be drawn to focus on particular things. But you want to just notice that and then unfocus your gaze to take in the periphery. So we're aware of our body, aware of sounds around us and sounds within us. We're aware of our capacity for sight. We're aware of our breathing. We're going to breathe in and out of our nose for this practice. So as you breathe in and out of your nose, just notice how your physical body responds to your breathing. I notice when I breathe, my belly expands, my diaphragm goes down, my chest expands as I breathe in. And there's a coolness to the air as I breathe in my throat and in my nose. And as you breathe out, the reverse happens. Your body contracts, and there's a warmth to your breath as you breathe out. This physical response to the breathing is a really important thing to take in mind when you're working with kids. And sometimes when you're working with children, you might want to have this as your whole practice. Just noticing how the body physically responds to breathing. And we're not changing our breath at all. So if we just went up 5 flights of stairs, we're going to have a really rapid pace of breath. If we're really anxious or angry, our breath's going to be rapid as well. And another thing that's helpful with children is a snow globe, if you have one handy. When we begin to sit, our mind is like a snow globe that we've shaken up. And as we sit, the snow just settles down to the ground. So as we start, our mind is all shaken up. We have all these little pieces of snow floating around, all these thoughts and emotions and sensations. And you might have noticed already that as you're doing this practice, as you have this focus on this video, that your mind is beginning to settle. To give our mind something else to hold on to, we're going to be aware of our breath and we're going to count our breath. So at your own pace, not changing your breath at all, I'd just like you to count quietly in your mind as you breathe in 1, as you breathe out 1. Breathing in 2, breathing out 2. Breathing in 3, breathing out 3. Breathing in 4, breathing out 4. Breathing in 5, breathing out 5. And when you get to 5, just go back to 1. So at your own pace, just count your breath, breathing in and breathing out. And we're not trying to win any awards for asceticism in this practice. We're just starting out here. So if your body kind of feels tight and you feel kind of, some kinks in your neck or in your back, just kind of move around and help yourself settle into your chair. We have a lot of things to support us in this practice, but the essence of this practice is that we have a focus and our attention is going to waver. We're going to be distracted. It just happens to everybody all the time. And then we're just going to gently bring it back. We're going to notice where our attention has gone and we're going to gently bring it back. And I like to think of this as building the muscle of mindfulness. It's kind of funny because mindfulness is more of a Tai Chi kind of action rather than a bodybuilding action. But just for the way of thinking about it, we're working on this practice. The more we practice, the more we build this muscle of mindfulness. So we're counting the breath. We're aware of all of our senses. You might tuck your chin in slightly, or tuck your pelvis in slightly, and create a gentle traction on your spine, making a little space for the vertebrae and the space between. And at your own pace, just counting in 1, out 1, in 2, out 2, up to 5, and then back to 1. Even if you had a lot of practice at this, you'd notice your mind wavering. One of my teachers used to say, if you could hold your attention steady for 30 seconds, you could do anything you wanted to in the world. So it kind of points to the fact that it's a pretty good skill to have, and a pretty rare skill to have. And so most of us will notice our focus wavers. And we just want to be gentle with ourselves, noticing where our mind is gone, knowing that's a perfectly normal thing, and then bringing it back. And as we bring it back, we'll just start back at 1. We're not trying to get anywhere here or accomplish anything in particular. We're just sitting. We are sitting with intention. But our goal is the present moment. They don't call it mindfulness practice for no reason. Each of the times we're distracted is an opportunity to practice, to build that muscle of mindfulness and bring our focus back. You might notice your breathing changing. You might notice particular places in your body. And whatever you notice, just allow your awareness to be there gently. And then bring it back to the focus of counting the breath. For this practice, you're just following along with this video. But when you practice on your own, you might want to have a timer as well. So that any of these distractions that comes up, that makes you want to start to make a story about it, or develop an identity of yourself, oh, I'm really bad at this, or this practice isn't for me. Whatever comes up, even if it's something very important on your to-do list, if you've set your timer for 5 or 10 minutes, you know that, whatever it is that comes up can wait 5 or 10 minutes. And you want to use your discretion as well. If your carpet's on fire, you might want to get up and put your carpet out. But most of the time, it's not a crisis. It can wait a few minutes. And I'll warn you as well. The minute that you sit and you create this space, you're opening a capacity for stuff that needs healing to come up. So all sorts of stuff will come up. And most likely your mind will fight against the stillness, because we're socialized for activity and doing. And this is a special kind of doing that involves not doing as well. So it's kind of strange. It's a little different than the norm. So we'll imagine that the timer is rung. It's been 10 minutes or so. And the mindfulness practice is taking you on the path towards sleep. So if you've had a particularly deep practice, there's a quality that's called absorption that you'll notice. And it's just like the path towards sleep. So as you bring your eyes open, or start to focus, you want to just kind of move into your body slowly and gently and allow yourself to wake up in a way. And I always remember the funny parts of some of the practices that I do, where sometimes when the timer rings, that'll be your first moment of mindfulness. Oh yeah, I'm meditating. You've been thinking the whole time, telling stories, whatever. But what we're doing is we're building these moments. It's, a moment and a moment and a moment. And that's what charges our batteries. That's what helps us build capacity. So even if when your timer rings, that was your only moment of mindfulness, you had a moment of mindfulness. So good luck with your practice.